Okay, we entered Romani Ranch on the first day, and Romani taught us Epona's song, so now we can use Epona in horse-rideable areas. We promised to come help her out at Romani Ranch at 2 a.m., but that's a long way off. One of our goals is to get 5,000 rupees in the bank to get a piece of heart, so why don't we spend this time gathering some rupees, eh? Now, the Dodongos in the northern parts of Termina Field drop 50 rupees when defeated, the larger ones anyway, but now that we have Epona, you can simply just ride into their tail, pushing them along ahead of you until they explode. Now, you can also technically do this with the Goron mask and just roll into them repeatedly with your spikes, but that's a little faster, but it's also harder to control and uses a lot of magic. Now, you can just drop down into a hole and come back out to make the bigger Dodongos reappear because they leave the most loot. Honestly, this isn't a very effective way to make money, and we have better options available. Now, if you take the south exit from Termina Field, you can go to the Swamp Shooting Gallery to the east, and just outside the doorway there is a little ledge with bushes. You can slash them up to get 40 rupees a time or so, and then you can enter the nearby door and come back out to make them reappear. This is an easy way to make rupees very quickly, and it's also not very dangerous. So now that I've mentioned those, there are two far superior ways to make massive cash in Majora's Mask, but one of them requires an item that we will be getting near the end of the game. The other option is actually available to us right now though, and that is killing the Takkuri that is just outside Milk Road entrance in the southwest corner of Termina Field. It is represented by a red dot on your minimap. While riding Epona, it won't come after you, so you can simply pelt it with arrows from your saddle all you want, and it will just totally ignore you, doesn't even realize you're there. This takes a while, however, so to speed this up, you'll have to get off your horse. This will make the funky-looking bird chase after you, and if you find yourself unable to run away, you should simply use your shield to deflect it. Now, you can use the Goron mask to punch it, or if you have one of those better swords in the game, you can use them to slash this bird up close. However, I don't really think it's worth the risk, because if it touches you, the Takkuri will knock away your items, or steal one of your bottles, or even steal your sword. Thief! The Takkuri will then take your items to Clocktown, where you can enter the Curiosity Shop at 10 p.m. onward, and then purchase them back for 50 rupees apiece. Now, you obviously want to avoid this from happening. It's never really explained if the Takkuri works for the Curiosity Shop owner, but either way, they have some sort of business arrangement, I suppose. Maybe he pays the bird. Anyway, rewind, I just learned Epona's song and left Romani Ranch. The Takkuri is the fastest way to make cash at this point, and you can kill it by shooting arrows while sitting atop Epona, but it takes a while. And if you have the stone mask, you can also use that to make the bird ignore you, but I'm actually getting that mask later on in this same chapter, so if you're following along with me, you shouldn't actually have that mask quite yet. At this point, I'm actually going to play the Song of Double Time to move ahead a few hours just to save a little bit of time. You can do that if you wish, but don't go any further than the first night, since we're waiting up to meet with Romani at 2 a.m. So regular arrows don't hurt it very much. Whatever you end up doing, I recommend you Z-target it, and if you want to hit it at close range, I highly recommend you let it hit your shield first. That way you're guaranteeing that it won't steal anything from you. To be safe though, instead I'm going to hit it from range. Since we just completed the Snowhead Temple, we now have fire arrows, which do twice as much damage as regular arrows, but they use up magic. Target the Takkuri, follow after it, and shoot it a few times. It runs away from you, so before long it will be too far away for you to do much about it. Watch out for the trees here because there are several bad bats up there that will come after you if you get close. Then you can get hit if you stop defending, which means that the Takkuri can then steal something while you're defenseless. As you can see, I'm luring the Takkuri away from the tree, making it hit my shield first, and then I'm being extra careful to make sure I don't lose one of my precious items. Once it's been defeated, it drops an orange rupee, which is worth a whopping 200 rupees. Now, if you have the adult wallet, that is as much as we can carry currently at this point, so you can either soar to Clocktown or run all the way back. I'm using the Goron mask to roll through the bushes along the way to get back magic and arrows. Once you put your rupees in the bank, roll all the way back out to Termina Field and roll straight across to Milk Road, going through the bushes as you go. This is the fastest path to take to fill up on arrows and magic in order to keep this method up of killing the Takkuri. The one problem with rolling straight ahead like I am is that at least one bad bat will usually come after me. Now, alternatively, you could just soar to Milk Road and come out that exit instead. That works as well. And that's pretty much it. Just Z-target the Takkuri, back up to lure it where you want, make it hit your shield if you're overly cautious like I am, shoot it with fire arrows. Get the cash, roll back to Clocktown, deposit the rupees in the bank, and roll all the way back. I'm just going to fast forward through the rest of this, but I just wanted to explain that all in detail first of all. Now, from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., I managed to do this a total of 3 times, depositing 600 rupees in the bank. Not bad for a good way to pass the time as long as we're waiting anyway. When it gets to be around 12 a.m. or so, you should ditch whatever you're doing and soar over to Milk Road so we can meet up with Romani before time runs out. Make sure you get there before it's too late. So join me for the next video, and I'll show you how to defend against the infamous them. Hooray for corny poetry.